Meet Ye Yang, a lowly slave of the great Ye clan. Born in filth, he dreams of celestial power and 9 wives. A rock strikes his head. It is the arrogant young master. The beating begins, but the slave's pride finally snaps. One-on-one. The crowd freezes at his insane challenge. Ye Guang strikes with the lethal eagle claw secret art. Shockingly, the slave counters the killing blow with ease. A lightning-fast throw slams the noble into the dirt. Suddenly, a crushing weight falls. The opponent is a cultivator. A mere mortal cannot bridge the foundation establishment gap. You are just a dog. Ye Yang charges in fury. A fist of power meets a desperate, bone-crushing grapple. Death draws near, until a cold hand stops the blow. The ice beauty, Lady 𝒂𝒓𝒂𝒍, arrives. Bully trembles. She is a true genius, forged in the immortal sex. Scram. Trash. Her aura shatters the very ground beneath them. In this world, the strong dictate who is garbage. She forbids internal bloodshed. The slave survives the day. Yet Ye Yang despairs, cursed with 0 innate talent. Hard work fails him as meditation brings only freezing water. Still, the fire of vengeance burns. He refuses this life. A thunderous boom. A mysterious casket flies into his hands. 2 figures streak across the sky, locked in mortal combat. Give me the pill. It is the legendary golden pill. A treasure capable of reforming bone and awakening godly talent. Driven by desperation, he swallows the divine artifact whole. The thief from the Star Pavilion roars in murderous rage. Die, worm! But a bolt of divine lightning intervenes. The 5 thunder decree. The lady guards the slave's life. Steal from my clan and you pay in blood. The thief unleashes a forbidden artifact to strike back. This is a storm of immortals, far beyond a mortal. Yet Ye Yang now sees every hidden flow of energy. The smoke clears. The lady falls from a brutal backlash. The villain sneers. Her high rank is now her cage. He spits blood, crippled by her final lightning strike. Ye Yang emerges from the wreckage with a cold gaze. They treated you like dirt. Kill her. Be free. The villain tosses a blade, weaving a web of lies. Refine the pill with me, or you will explode. Kill the genius. Save your life. The choice is made. She refuses to beg. Kill me then, you useless slave. I have had enough. Steel bites deep into flesh, but the blade pierces the villain's heart instead. Stunned, the lady realizes her small mercy was never forgotten. Driven into a corner, 𝒂𝒓𝒂𝒍𝒅 unleashes a desperate, explosive strike that sends 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒍 flying. That villain is finished. But our hero's thick skin saves him as he discovers the secrets of the Purple Mansion. 𝒂𝒓𝒂𝒍𝒂𝒍 lamb grants him the fallen warrior's treasures while she sits to recover her fractured spiritual essence. For a lowly village boy, this isn't just loot, it is a legendary fortune that will change his destiny forever. He reaches for the heaven and earth demon-subduing scroll, unaware that ancient powers are watching his every move. Suddenly, a malevolent dark force blasts him backward. His body screams in agony as he is tossed like a rag doll. Crash! 𝒂𝒓𝒂𝒂𝒍 lands directly in the great lady's lap. Is this a heavenly blessing, or a death sentence? You filthy dog, she screams, delivering a fierce kick. He's lucky to escape that encounter with his life. As he retreats, a mysterious golden mist begins to swirl around him. The air trembles with a divine presence. The 9 revolutions golden core is awakening. He must refine this overwhelming power now, or face total annihilation. A blinding pillar of golden light erupts from his body, piercing the heavens and shocking the entire forest. He awakens in a dreamlike void where a breathtaking beauty kneels before him, calling him her master. This is his inner purple mansion. The golden core's energy has forced a miraculous breakthrough in his cultivation. But how can a commoner possess such a divine space? And why is this stunning girl serving him? She is the soul of his consciousness, guarding a vast world that shifts and grows with his inner strength. She pulls him back to reality, but the mystery deepens as she manifests in the physical world beside him. Now a spiritual companion, she remains invisible to all but the most legendary masters of the martial world. 𝒂𝒓𝒂𝒂𝒍 tries to act smooth with his new maid, but a swift slap puts him right back in his place. Her aura is terrifying, far stronger than 𝒂𝒓𝒂𝒂𝒍. He has gained a guardian of unimaginable power. 3 days later, the disciples gather at Phi Tien Mountain for the trial that will decide their futures. The great lady ignores the arrogant geniuses, her sharp gaze fixed only on the boy who crossed her path. She summons him forward as the crowd sneers. A lowly water carrier standing before the elite? Preposterous. Why is this trash here? They mock. But their laughter is about to turn into bitter envy. She appoints him to the Phi Tien sect to guard the sacred beasts, a move that leaves everyone speechless. The young lords are outraged, but one icy glare from the lady silences their pathetic protests instantly. 𝒂𝒓𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒍 thinks he has hit the jackpot, but fate is a fickle mistress with a bumpy road ahead. Flying on a sword is a nightmare for his stomach. He names his pink-haired spirit companion, 𝒂𝒂𝒂. How do I fly? He asks. She simply tells him to pour his raw chi into the steel and pray. His rivals plot his downfall in the shadows. Suddenly, a massive explosion rocks the very foundations of the sky. Chaos reigns. Amidst the panic, 𝒂𝒓𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒍 grabs hold of the great lady's stunning figure to stay upright. Her face flushes with pure rage. One more wrong move, and he will be meeting his ancestors today. Demons! Sensing the dark aura, she orders the group to stay back while she charges into the fray. That coward 𝒂𝒓𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒍 seizes the moment, kicking our hero off the flying sword into the abyss below. Falling to his doom, he screams for help. 𝒂𝒂𝒂 commands him to summon the dragon spring sword. It works! He pours every ounce of his soul into the blade as it hums with ancient divine power. The sword spirit awakens. A legendary bond is forged in a flash of blinding, heaven-shaking golden light. Man and sword become one. He streaks down like a falling star to save the beautiful 𝒂𝒓𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒍. A devastating shockwave clears the dust. A hero appears. Though he has no idea how he actually survived, the rescued maiden is instantly smitten. She believes the heavens have sent her a handsome protector and husband. Who dares slaughter my men? The Black Lotus bandit screams. 𝒂𝒓𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒍 just looks on in total confusion. The villain is enraged. He unleashes the forbidden third stage of the Black Lotus shadow art to kill him. Razor-sharp petals fill the air, launching a lethal assault with the speed of 1,000 screaming arrows. Manhwa trembles in fear. Has her savior used up all his strength in that one magnificent entrance? What do I do, 𝒂𝒂𝒂? He panics. Her brilliant advice? If you can't win, run like the wind. But just as the shadows close in, a massive golden pagoda falls from the sky, crushing the evil. Trapped! The fool fell right into the formation while hunting Ye Yang. It was a perfect ambush. What a disaster! He thought our hero was fleeing in fear, but he was just dancing in the palm of his hand. Without hesitation, she summons the exquisite pagoda. A massive bolt of heavenly lightning strikes the demonic cultivator. Suddenly, a dark lotus ambushes them and blows her away. The villain seizes the pagoda with a wicked grin. You can't even use 1,000th of its true power. Better hand it over to your big brother. From the heavens, 2 blades descend like falling stars. 𝒂𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒍 and her cousin arrive to strike him back. Demonic scum. Daring to cause chaos in the Central Plains? You are simply courting death today. But they aren't intimidated. This is Zhang Dao, the top elite disciple of the Black Lotus sect. Despite his arrogance, he's shaking inside. Facing the genius 𝒂𝒂�𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒍 is a battle he cannot win. Terrified by Ye Yang's hidden monstrous pressure, he bluffs and retreats. I'll let you off. Just for today. 𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒍 stops the pursuit, sensing a hidden trap. Suddenly, Zhao rushes forward and tightly hugs Ye Yang. Is she planning to offer her body in gratitude? That thirsty gaze tells the whole story. 𝒂𝒂�𝒂𝒍 warns him to stay on guard. This girl looks like she wants to eat him alive. The arrogant 𝒂𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒍 arrives with his cronies, barking loudly. You're still alive? Your luck is far too good. Since he's a lady killer, the eldest miss kicks him off the carriage. Luckily, he's already mastered the art of sword flight. Before he leaves, Zhao begs for the young master's info. But our hero isn't easy to get and vanishes instantly. She's already daydreaming about naming their future children. Finally, they reach the majestic soaring immortal gate. The scale of this mountain is absolutely breathtaking. It is a world apart from Ye Yang's tiny village. Suddenly, the sky trembles with a violent shockwave. A divine tiger beast charges at them with murderous fury. Everyone is blown away like dust. Only Ye Yang stands firm, facing the beast's soul-crushing gaze. 1,000-year soul pressure erupts from the beast, threatening to tear his very physical body apart. 𝒂𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒍 manifests her power to shield Ye Yang, but her interference only makes the beast more enraged. With one roar, it shatters the shield and invades his mind. It enters the depths of Ye Yang's soul palace. It was ready to kill, until the demon-suppressing scroll appeared. The beast instantly freezes and cries out, "Master, I never thought I would see you again." Ye Yang is left completely speechless by this turn. 𝒂𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒍 realizes it's connected to the ancient beings inside the scroll. The artifact begins to glow with an eerie light. The commotion brings the sect leader, Taoist Xuanhu. What in the world is happening here? We don't know, Master. The guardian beast just suddenly went on a violent and uncontrollable rampage. The sect leader's eyes lock onto the mysterious youth. Could Ye Yang be the source of this chaos? The beast roars again, its power shaking the four directions. Everyone trembles in absolute terror before its might. Through telepathy, the master asks what disturbed the beast. Nothing. Just a minor enemy, it lies, fleeing in fear. Thon Lam greets her master with deep respect. He immediately asks about the identity of the boy. She's shocked. Since when did the great master care about a nameless little nobody like him? He's just a family slave, master. I brought him here to tend to the spiritual beasts. The old man examines him closely. Strong physique, young and talented. Not bad at all. Thon Lam. You're at the age to be married off, aren't you? She pouts in embarrassment. Master, I'm still a student. He thinks she's keeping a pretty boy for her own desires. The misunderstanding is reaching a breaking point. It's not like that, she screams in fury, turning her burning gaze toward the innocent Ye Yang, 30 minutes later at Blue Mist Peak. This is the elite mountain granted only to the best. Ye Kuang finds Ye Yang's broken shack to cause trouble. This dump is exactly where a dog belongs. Yi Yang ignores the barking. He has bigger plans. A broken house is enough for his secret training. Revenge is a dish best served cold after 10 years. First, he must focus everything on his martial path. He must break his limits to change his destiny. Only absolute power can wash away this deep humiliation. Golden chi condenses in his dantian, forming a perfect sphere. Atu's eyes widen in shock at his progress. Congratulations, master. You have finally stepped into the Foundation establishment realm. Foundation? Establishment? This absorption speed is monstrous. What is happening to you, Ye Yang? Peering into his spirit sea, he sees a massive golden core. The sight is truly unbelievable. Desperate for answers, he grabs Atu's hand. She's stunned as he begs for her help. Teach me that beast-slaying move, he pleads. Her answer? Get lost, you shameless brat. Hope fades, leaving him crushed. But then, her next words spark a tiny flame of light. Atu promises a technique that fits him perfectly. Suddenly, her foot slams into his face. Why hit me? He cries. To master this, you need iron skin. She was only testing. The technique is the chi accumulation art. It turns agonizing pain into explosive spiritual power. The more damage you endure, the deadlier the strike. Perfect for a thick-skinned guy like him. Yi Yang is ecstatic with this new power. Yet, Atu seems a bit too happy. I'm just glad for you, master, she chirps, while preparing a barrage of spirit attacks. You'll become strong under my training, she shouts. Agonizing screams soon fill the air. He's basically raised a fox in his own house. Months later, the sect trials finally begin. At the Fitian sect's forbidden land, elders announce the brutal entrance exam rules. Only 3 slots exist. The competition is fiercer than a war for survival. The crowd erupts in panic. 3 spots for thousands? This is a death sentence, not a test. While others worry, young Master Ye plots in the shadows. He plans to eliminate everyone else. Those slots belong to us, he sneers. The elder then points toward a terrifying beast. It's the Blood Moon Wolf. The mere sight of the monster sends chills down every spine. This is suicide. These wolves are ruthless predators. One bite means certain death for anyone. Even caged, the wolf's bloodlust is suffocating. The candidates tremble, their faces turning pale. The pressure is so intense that Ye Kuang falls back. So much for his big mouth. This beast is ruthless, the elder warns. The sect takes no responsibility for any deaths. Cowards are given a chance to flee. Many choose their lives over the sect's glory. This isn't a trial, it's a massacre, they cry, abandoning their dreams of cultivation. Yet, the strong remain. They scoff at those fleeing from a few simple spirit wolves. The elder finally signals the start. The hunt for the wolf cores has officially begun. 3 cages swing open. A swarm of cultivators rushes in, desperate for the prize. Amidst the chaos, a masked figure slips through the trees. It's Ye Yang, hidden and ready. To change his destiny, he must enter the sect. His identity must remain a secret. The hunters try to ambush the beast. Suddenly, the wolf turns 180 degrees. A terrifying aura explodes from the monster. Before they can react, fireballs rain down. Massive explosions rock the forest. Only the fast and the lucky survive the initial blast. Yi Yang, soaring above, is struck by a fireball. A scream of agony escapes his lips. His chi turns chaotic, and his flying sword shatters. Below him lies a bottomless abyss. His body plunges into the dark waters. Consciousness fades as he sinks into the depths. Is this the end of his journey? No. Deep in the marsh, a mysterious girl appears. Orange hair flowing, she cultivates in silence. The spiritual energy here is incredibly dense. A breakthrough is imminent. Her beauty is ethereal, like a goddess descending to earth. Suddenly, Ye Yang's scream pierces her meditation. A man's voice? Here? She wonders. She blames it on a hallucination from long isolation. But then, an intruder appears. Who dares invade my spirit space? She hisses. To make matters worse, he's not even handsome. She wants to strike him down, but she's at a critical stage. She must focus. Suddenly, a cold hand grabs her. It's the unconscious Ye Yang, clinging to her for life. Her concentration shatters. As their energies clash, her body begins to burn with heat. A strange sensation gripped him like he was about to explode. Turns out, the unconscious Ye Yang was still clutching onto, well, a pair of very soft assets. Even as a ghost, he wanted to be a ladies' man. Slowly, he regained consciousness. Wait, what is this pillowy softness beneath his hands? Whatever it was, he held on tight. If he let go, he would surely perish in the depths of this mysterious, watery abyss. Suddenly, the water erupted. A violent shockwave sent spray flying everywhere as Ye Yang's eyes finally snapped open to the world. To his shock, he was pinning down a breathtaking goddess. She glared with murderous intent, screaming for this shameless brat to get lost. He stammered apologies, but the beauty's eyes burned with hatred. Golden energy gathered in her palms, ready to execute him on the spot. This brat ruined her cultivation. Just as she prepared to kill him, she felt a sudden, powerful surge within her own dantian. She had actually broken through. This newfound power was unmistakable. She unleashed a devastating palm strike to test her legendary strength. The blast leveled the horizon, making the entire lake tremble. Meanwhile, Ye Yang scrambled onto the shore, fearing for his very life. He expected a death blow, but she suddenly thanked him. "Little brat, you actually helped me reach the late fetal breath realm." She pulled him into a crushing embrace, burying his face in her chest. He was literally suffocating from her overwhelming generosity. Was she trying to kill him with pleasure? Yi Yang gasped for air, begging this crazy lady to show some mercy to her junior. "I will die before I can even enjoy this," he yelled. But the girl's face darkened instantly. "Did you just call me old?" Killing intent flared around her like a storm. "Say that again. Who are you calling a big sister? Your whole family are big sisters." The pressure was suffocating. Women were truly fickle creatures, shifting from affection to a murderous rage in a single heartbeat. Hearing movement nearby, Ye Yang remembered the outer sect trial. He masked his face and bolted, leaving the stunning beauty behind. "That little brat is fast," she smirked. "A trial candidate. Just you wait. We will definitely meet again very soon." Ye Yang dashed forward like lightning but stopped abruptly. A pack of blood wolves. Taking on 3 at once was pure suicide. While hiding, he spotted Xia Mingyao and her brother, Lin Fei. It seemed they were also here to conquer the sect trial. They all sought entry into the prestigious Fei Xian sect. Suddenly, a massive blood wolf caught his scent and attacked. A giant fireball roared toward him. Instead of dodging, Ye Yang drew his blade and sliced the flames apart with one strike. The explosion rocked the entire forest. High above, the outer sect elders watching the trial sensed something was terribly wrong. "Do those 3 beasts seem off to you?" one elder asked. The other simply laughed it off, dismissing his brother's concerns. "They are just low-level magical beasts, senior brother. You are overthinking it," but their eyes burned with an unusual, demonic cruelty. "We tamed these wolves ourselves. They won't cause trouble. One command, and they will be as obedient as little puppies." The first elder remained silent and unsettled. "I hope you are right." Down below, Ye Yang began rallying the other disciples. "Listen up. We must join forces to survive these blood wolves. Only together do we have a chance at true victory. Forget the inner cores for now. Let's kill them first, then divide the loot fairly." The crowd murmured in desperate agreement. "He is right. If we keep fighting amongst ourselves, we will all end up as wolf food." The atmosphere shifted toward unity. With one heart and mind, the group prepared for battle. Yi Yang took charge, assigning roles to every cultivator present. "Those with crowd control skills, trap them. Those with high attack power, follow me to deliver the final killing blows." The team charged the 3 blood wolves. The beasts snarled, sensing the sudden shift in their prey's fierce determination. Spells and steel rained down on the monsters. Xia Mingyao stepped forward, her hands weaving a complex and powerful binding spell. She bound one wolf in mystical chains, freezing it in place. "Now," Yi Yang roared, "strike while the beast is down." A massive volley of energy slammed into the wolves, causing a blinding explosion. But someone was lurking greedily in the shadows. The coward 𝒂𝒂𝒓𝒄 suddenly lunged forward. "The core is mine. Ha ha ha. Die, you filthy mutts. The prize belongs to me." Everyone gasped. That trash was trying to steal the rewards after doing nothing. But a blood-curdling scream echoed out. 𝒂�💄's eyes widened in horror. The wolf was unharmed. In fact, it was mutating, its aura becoming far more sinister. 3 heads sprouted from its neck as it went berserk. A roar shattered the earth and sent tremors through the ground. 𝒂🂂💄 was sent flying like a broken ragdoll. Above, the elders panicked. "It is a mutated blood wolf. We must stop it." Suddenly, the golden-haired woman appeared, blocking their path. "It is too late for that. Do not be so hasty." This woman was no ordinary cultivator. She was 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒒𝒄, the legendary peak master of the famous Jade Bamboo Peak. The elders bowed in terror. "Grand Aunt." She ignored them, watching the boy. "Let's see how he handles a real challenge." Below, the disciples trembled before the mutated blood demon wolf. This trial had just become a living nightmare for everyone. 𝒂🂂💄 did not flinch. "Charge! Kill it before it fully adapts to this power. It is now or never, everyone. Die." Their ultimate moves were incinerated by the beast's hellfire. The wolf remained unscathed. Suddenly, a lethal shadow lunged at 𝒂🂂💄. A2 sensed a killing intent. The beast had targeted 𝒂🂂💄. A massive crimson beam erupted. 𝒂🂂💄 barely parried the strike. The multi-headed beast fired again, blasting his legendary sword away. No time, he summoned the demon scroll, praying for a miracle. It failed. The beast pinned him, claws tearing into his flesh. Pain surged. The monster mocked him, laughing at his pathetic struggle. Suddenly, the scroll ascended, glowing with a divine golden radiance. The 3-headed wolf vanished. A golden light seared 𝒂🂂💄's forehead. His mind burned with agony. The artifact was choosing its master. The beast was gone. A2 appeared as he clutched his head. "Master, the scroll has bound to you through your blood." "My head, it's splitting." 𝒂🂂💄 screamed in absolute agony. A mutant wolf lunged. Suddenly, a golden pulse erupted from him. The shockwave pulverized the beast. Everyone stood frozen in shock. "What was that move?" they gasped. 𝒂🂂💄 turned to A2. "Did you kill it?" She replied. "No, master, you did." 𝒂🂂💄 was baffled. "I didn't do anything," he claimed. "The ancient rune entered your mind, forming a powerful mental technique. You killed it with pure intent. Can thoughts truly kill? It's the primordial power of the runes used to seal gods." He tested it. A tiny spark flickered, but the power was minuscule. That was only 1%. Suddenly, his nose began to bleed. The higher the frequency, the more it destroys your body. He claimed the 3 beast cores. "Finally, the prize is mine." A roar shook the forest. The pressure threatened to crush him. "What is this?" His head felt like it was going to explode. People screamed for help as a winged nightmare descended from above. 𝒂𝒓𝒄, the interdimensional demon, appeared. "Greetings. Pathetic little human ants. Resist the sound." The elders channeled chi for a defensive barrier. "So you killed my pets?" 𝒂𝒓𝒄 laughed. "How very amusing. Be careful," 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒄 warned. "His power is beyond measure. An interdimensional beast?" They looked like demons but spoke human tongue. A century ago, these beings invaded and nearly wiped out humanity. Humans won but suffered greatly. That was when monsters first appeared. These beasts are evolved monsters, much like humans reaching ascension. They possess intelligence far beyond man. 𝒂𝒓𝒄's gaze turned murderous. "I haven't killed humans in so long. My hands are itching." "He vanished! Watch out!" 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒄 shouted, sensing the trap. 𝒂𝒓𝒄 targeted the weak disciples instead. He laughed like a maniac. Panic erupted. If caught, not even 9 lives would save them. "Don't be arrogant." The elders charged with their ultimate techniques. 𝒂𝒓𝒄's red aura exploded. He caught their swords with bare hands. "Is this all your power?" He smirked, then grabbed them effortlessly. Their heads were inches from the dirt when 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒄 intervened with godlike speed to save them. The demon was stunned. "So you're the powerhouse here?" 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒄 ordered the elders to retreat. She would face the beast alone. The demon lunged. "A mere girl thinks she can stop me?" His speed exploded. 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒄 blocked with her steel, but the force sent her reeling back. "Crawl back to hell, Rain of Flowers sword." She unleashed a flurry of lethal strikes. 1,000 blades rained down, burying the demon in a devastating, earth-shaking explosion. Nearby, 𝒂𝒓𝒐𝒏𝒂𝒄 gasped. Who knew this well-endowed woman was such a terrifying powerhouse? Glad I ran earlier. But as the smoke cleared, the monster was still standing tall. You'll all die here. The demon's aura flared as he charged directly at 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍. They clashed with massive force. A scream echoed. 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍 was violently blasted back. Damn it. This beast was stronger than she imagined. He was a truly relentless nightmare. 𝒂𝒑𝒏𝒂𝒍 saw her struggling. Since he'd touched her melons, he had to help her. He unleashed his divine sense. Instantly, a soul-splitting headache made him collapse in agony. This technique was a double-edged sword. 300 hertz was his absolute physical limit. The demon's mind faltered, leaving him wide open for 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍's lethal finishing strike. A massive shockwave shook the mountain as the beast was engulfed in a blinding light. He's dead for sure, 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍 thought. But a dark shadow flickered behind him. The enraged demon appeared. I don't know what trick you used, but now die. 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍 couldn't move. Demon chi coiled around him like a suffocating dark snake. Suddenly, the demon froze in midair. An invisible, ancient force held him captive. It was a two. With one flick, the demon was slammed face first into the dirt. 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍 was baffled. This kid had power, but his aura felt like two different souls. The demon retreated in terror. That pressure, it was far beyond human comprehension. That wasn't his power, he realized. 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍 roared, "You won't escape today, monster. You murdered my disciples. Prepare for judgment." The demon snarled in pure frustration. "If not for that terrifying aura, I'd have slaughtered you all." He barked loudly. "Remember the name 𝒂𝒐𝒏𝒂𝒍. Next time, your life is mine." He vanished. He tore through space itself to escape. Even 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍 couldn't catch him in time. Spatial manipulation? This was bad. But for now, the sect trial had to continue. Elders, handle the disciples. I must report this demonic intrusion to the sect leader. The elders turned to 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍. You hold 3 wolf cores. You have a choice. Ascend to the outer sect alone, or share them with your companions to rise together. 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍 immediately crawled forward. I'll pay a fortune for one of those cores. Willing? I'm willing to give you a kick. 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍 sneered. Think money solves everything? This isn't the 𝒂𝒏 family. Your gold means nothing. But I have a deal. Kneel and call me father, and I might consider it. What do you say, son? 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍 fumed as his lackeys laughed. Our young master would never kneel for a core. He's the brother of the genius 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍. You've just signed your death warrant. But to their horror, 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍 dropped to his knees. Great hero. I mean, father, please sell me a core, any price. His servant stood frozen in absolute shock. 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍 pulled off his mask and laughed. What a dutiful son you are, 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍. 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍, you bastard. I did what you said. Now give me the core. I said I'd consider it, not agree. He ignored him and greeted Har more mock. He tossed her a blood wolf core instantly. 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍's face turned purple with rage. Veins popped on his forehead, but he stayed silent. He knew 𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒍 was dangerous. Ye Yang refuses the core. Brother Lin, keep it. I'm only here for my cousin. Take care of her, he says. His cousin's face turns bright crimson instantly. Then it is settled. You are now outer disciples of the Phi-Tien sect. Follow me to the phaseless wall. They enter a massive, ancient cavern. Only elites enter here. Even inner disciples must toil for years for this chance. But rules have changed. New recruits now get one shot at divine enlightenment. Step inside, and crushing pressure descends. Ye Yang feels his very bones tremble. The elder uses a secret technique to stabilize them. What was that terrifying force? A suffocating aura suddenly fills the air. It's hard to even draw breath. The lethal array kills all intruders. Only the chosen may walk these halls. What must we do? Outer disciples cannot learn direct arts. They must comprehend. Your success depends on fate. How much you grasp is up to the heavens. A portal of blinding light appears. This is the phaseless wall. Enter now. A wall? How do we enter? The elder shoves them into the swirling abyss. Ye Yang stumbles to his feet. Where am I? A2 appears in a flash. This is someone's soul palace. Before she can finish, Ye Yang sinks deep. A wicked doppelganger emerges from the depths. He grabs Ye Yang by the throat. You weakling. From today, I am the real Ye Yang. Die. A2, help. But she remains still. This is your inner demon to conquer. He tries to resist, but the demon strikes hard. You useless piece of trash. Is calling for help all you can do? Ye Yang is sent flying backward. Their blades clash. You dare use celestial energy like a clumsy amateur? Pathetic. The demon unsheathes its blade. A terrifying black dragon roars into existence. Let me show you the dragon spring's true power. Ye Yang mimics the stance. 100 strikes in a heartbeat. Their movements are too fast for human eyes. Ye Yang's defense shatters. Too weak. Witness the sword's true divine absolute. The demon's face twists in malice. Dragon spring, slash, perish in the abyss. The dragon strikes. Ye Yang is blasted into the dark, freezing waters below. Is this the end? Suddenly, his golden core ignites with a violent fury. Man and sword become one. Ye Yang launches a final, desperate counterattack. A massive explosion rocks the domain. The demon is engulfed in golden light. You're the one who dies today. Thanks for showing me the sword's secrets. Wait, don't kill me. The demon begs, but it's too late. It vanishes. Meanwhile, the sect leaders debate the sudden appearance of the demon realm. The rift is opening. We must act now. Elder Chumin scoffs loudly. To mock is exaggerating. Those beasts have been locked away for a millennium. I wasn't the only witness. If tragedy strikes, we will both pay the price. A massive tremor shakes the mountain. The non-phase peak. Has something happened? Yi Yang wakes in a strange palace. His breath hitches. A goddess stands before him. She is breathtakingly beautiful. No man could resist such a celestial vision. A handsome man, she cries, pinning him down before he can even blink. He tries to use his chi to push her off, but it's gone. My energy is sealed. What is this place? The woman laughs like a maniac. I've been alone for thousands of years. You are my new male pet. Forget your freedom. You'll serve me in this palace for all eternity. Ha! Yi Yang was helpless, desperately calling for aid as a predatory goddess closed in. Scream all you want, she sneered. No one is coming to save you in this void. But her smirk instantly vanished. Something was wrong. Yi Yang's eyes began to glow with an eerie, blinding radiance. A terrifying sword intent erupted from him, threatening to slice through the heavens. She gasped, realizing he possessed a legendary divine spirit body. No wonder you survived the rift, boy, she laughed. With a flick of her finger, she sealed his energy before he could strike back. I shall grant you a long-lost divine technique, she whispered. But once you leave, you must fulfill a dangerous favor for me. Did he even have a choice? Before he could blink, ancient knowledge was forcibly branded into his consciousness. A surge of terrifying power flooded his soul. This was the legendary primal immortal art. Ye Yang realized this woman was no ordinary cultivator. Are you the forbidden primal heaven lord? He stammered. She chuckled, explaining how her soul had been split by the immortal realm's masters. Her spirit was divided into three and sealed across the world. His mission was simple. Find the other two missing fragments. She gave no locations, only a cryptic hint. The manual itself would guide him once his cultivation reached a certain level. Suddenly, she pounced on him, her eyes hungry for more. I've been locked away for millennia. Perhaps you can help me pass the time, little brother. Pass the time, you shameless old hag? His master fumed within his mind, but they were both powerless against her divine strength. The Heaven Lord flaunted her lethal curves, claiming she was more enchanting than any mortal girl Ye Yang had ever seen. Before he could protest, she pulled him into a fateful embrace. Tonight, let this goddess show you the path to true pleasure. What followed was a scene far too intense for mortal eyes. Meanwhile, outside the sacred wall, the sect elders had gathered in a panic. They stared at the Wushang wall, sensing a catastrophic change. Suddenly, space itself began to crack and shatter. The crowd gasped in horror as a rift appeared. From the debris, Ye Yang tumbled out, without a single stitch of clothing. What a pervert, the female disciples shrieked. The elders immediately seized him, demanding to know why the sacred treasure was destroyed. How could he explain that a 1,000-year-old goddess had just ravaged him? No one in the sect would ever believe such a story. He's just an outer disciple, one elder noted. He entered the wall for a trial, according to our laws. It's true, he's just a newcomer, another confirmed. But some were far from convinced of his innocence. He might be a spy from the demon clan, a voice hissed. Sent to destroy our sect's most precious artifact. The wall had stood for centuries, yet it cracked the moment this brat arrived. It couldn't be a coincidence. Let the Peak Masters decide his fate later, the leader commanded. Right now, we must see if the wall can be restored. Yi Yang groaned. He had barely joined the sect, and now he was a marked man. Talk about terrible luck. Back in his shabby room, Ye Yang began practicing the primal immortal art. The cultivation method was bizarre beyond belief. He had to cultivate while standing on his head. It seemed ridiculous, but the results were absolutely staggering. His inner core began to transform, glowing with a divine light. Hours passed in a blur of intense, focused energy. His cultivation level skyrocketed instantly. He had reached the middle stage of foundation establishment in a single night. Though the posture was exhausting, the speed of chi absorption was godlike. This was truly a top-tier heaven manual. Soon, Ye Yang became the talk of the sect. Naturally, this brought unwanted attention from the local bullies. "Do you have a death wish?" Ye Yang asked coldly. Qin Hao sneered, unimpressed by the boy's newfound fame. "The Peak Master has forbidden you from leaving this room, brat. You won't take another step. Just try and stop me," Ye Yang retorted. With a single strike, he sent one of the thugs crashing into the dirt. As the others charged, Ye Yang didn't even flinch. A shock wave of pure qi erupted, blowing them back like leaves in a storm. Qin Hao froze in disbelief. This kid was only in the foundation stage, yet his power was completely overwhelming. Enraged, they drew their flying swords. Ye Yang simply unsheathed his Longquan sword, its aura chilling the very air. With one swing, his sword intent swallowed their attacks whole. The two disciples collapsed, screaming in sheer agony. Qin Hao finally snapped. His aura exploded as he prepared his most devastating, soul-crushing technique, Abyssal Prison Strike. The ground shattered under the weight of his blade as it hurtled toward Ye Yang. The pressure was suffocating, threatening to bury him alive. But just as the explosion peaked, a mysterious figure appeared. It was Peak Master Su Mu. Her voice was cold enough to freeze fire as she glared down at Qin Hao. "Internal fighting is strictly forbidden," she hissed. Qin Hao trembled, claiming he was only teaching the newcomer a lesson. "Teaching me? You were trying to take my life." Ye Yang barked back, his blood still boiling with rage. Su Mu didn't waste words. With a casual flick of her wrist, a golden beam sent Qin Hao flying into the distance. "I care nothing for your petty grudges, but cross me again and there will be no mercy." Qin Hao was trembling with fear, yet Ye Yang's mocking face only fueled his burning rage. Dragged away for drinks by Senior Su Mu, our hero claimed he couldn't hold his liquor. Ye Yang stayed sober, while Su Mu collapsed into a drunken slumber right on his bed. What man could resist such a sight? Ye Yang considered a bold move, admiring her curves. Her beauty rivaled the goddesses, yet his honor held firm as he finally drifted to sleep. The next morning, he woke up entangled with her just as a surprise visitor arrived. If this scandal leaked, his reputation would be ruined. The visitor was none other than Meng Jiao. Seeing Su Mu there, Meng Jiao was stunned, thinking Ye Yang was a wild, shameless player. Blushing deeply, she couldn't believe the virtuous young Master Yi was actually such a hungry wolf. Suddenly, Su Mu woke up and delivered a fierce kick, screaming at the perverted brat. That foul woman! Her legs were pinning him down until he nearly suffocated from the pressure. She left casually, leaving a jealous Meng Jiao to ask if he preferred older or younger women. Ye Yang joked that anyone over 18 was fine. Then, they headed to the martial arena. There, Qin Hao of the Heavenly Spirit Peak was acting like a tyrant, challenging all disciples. In the Fiend Immortal sect, contribution points were the ultimate currency for every aspiring cultivator. Qin Hao was extorting points from the weak through intimidation, a truly pathetic and shameless display. Ye Yang couldn't stay silent and stepped forward to challenge the arrogant and cowardly Senior Qin. "Why bully the weak, Qin Hao? Why not test your might against me in a real duel?" The crowd gasped, thinking the boy was suicidal. Even Meng Jiao pleaded with him to stop. "Don't worry," he smirked. "Once I win, I'll use those points to treat you to everything." But first, he needed a stake. He approached the elder to exchange his rare beast loot, 2 Bloodwolf cores. Each was worth 250 points, totaling 500 in all. Qin Hao boasted a massive 1,988 points. The gap was truly immense. "Since I'm 2 realms lower," Ye Yang shouted, "the betting odds must be 3-1. Qin Hao sneered, thinking he could never lose to a nobody, and greedily accepted the terms. The elder officially commenced the duel as the atmosphere grew heavy with lethal killing intent. "I won't hold back," Qin Hao growled. "Prepare to spend your life as a broken cripple." He lunged with a lethal strike, but Ye Yang blocked it effortlessly, shocking every single witness. Qin Hao's pride was wounded. He mocked the junior's weakness while preparing a devastating finishing blow. The sheer pressure of his sword intent cracked the very floor beneath Ye Yang's tired feet. Ye Yang unleashed a mental shockwave at 250 hertz, straight into Qin Hao's mind. Qin Hao shrieked in agony as the mental strike shattered his focus, sending him flying away. Silence fell. An outer disciple had just crushed the top genius of the Heavenly Spirit Peak. The crowd was baffled. Moments ago, Ye Yang looked defeated, yet he turned the tables instantly. "You used sorcery," Qin Hao barked, but Ye Yang just smiled at his pathetic, desperate denial. Meng Jiao rushed to his side, declaring that everyone saw a fair fight with no cheating. Fuming with humiliation, Qin Hao tried to lash out, but Ye Yang's presence stopped him cold. With their winnings secured, the two headed to the Pavilion of Tomes to exchange for power. The Guardian Elder instructed Ye Yang to extend his hand to transfer his hard-earned points. His balance flashed a staggering 1,500. But entry alone cost 100 points. Paying 200 points just to walk in? This was daylight robbery for any ordinary disciple. Meng Jiao felt guilty and tried to stay behind, but the gallant Ye Yang insisted. Inside, the air was thick with ancient knowledge. Countless secret manuals lined the endless shelves. Ye Yang's eyes landed on a mysterious scroll. High-grade cultivation. The legendary fire. Gold technique. 2,000 points for a single manual? This legendary technique better be worth the steep price tag. What? The pages are completely blank. A high-tier seal prevents anyone from peeking before the debt is paid. Truly a scam, but before Ye Yang can curse, Meng Jiao collapses, her body turning into a block of ice. Panic strikes as he calls her name in vain. Suddenly, AZ manifests, sensing a deadly chill in the air. The extreme cold physique is erupting. Master, quickly find a manual here that can suppress this lethal frost energy. Ye Yang frantically scours the library. Finally, his eyes lock onto a mid-tier manual that offers a solution. The Joyous Union Art. It can neutralize the frost, but requires the circulation of pure masculine yang energy. The catch? Both must be completely unclad for the qi to flow. This technique is bold, to say the least. Meng Jiao's life is fading fast. With no time for hesitation, Ye Yang decides to risk everything to save her. Their palms meet as the dual cultivation begins. Together, they guide the swirling energy through their combined meridians. Half an hour later, the breakthrough happens. Yi Yang's power surges, reaching the late foundation establishment stage instantly. Meng Jiao stirs with a groan before falling back into a deep sleep. She awakens later, face flushed crimson. Senior brother. What did we do? She asks shyly. The frost that haunted me for years. It's finally quiet. Countless famous doctors had failed her, yet this Joyous Union art worked wonders. Realization sends her into a frenzy. She cries out in embarrassment. To fully purge the poison, they must reach the second and third stages together. Her face burns hotter than a furnace. Yet, she secretly realizes she'll be by his side every single day. 1,000 points gone in a flash. As they exit, the old caretaker narrows his eyes with deep suspicion. You two took quite a while, he mutters. Don't think my old ears didn't catch those strange noises inside. Ye Yang ignores the gossip and presents the manual. The old man smirks, seeing the youth's provocative choice. A lucky brat, aren't you? He chuckles. Back at the manor, the treacherous Ye Kuang approaches with a bow. He calls Ye Yang's senior brother with fake respect, announcing that his sister, Thon Lam, has finished seclusion. He invites Ye Yang to celebrate their family ties. But in this world, such kindness usually hides a blade. Young master is too kind, Ye Yang scoffs. I'm just a lowly servant. How could I sit with royalty? Ye Kuang's smile turns into a sneer. Are you insulting my sister? You're just a slave who got lucky. Ye Yang senses a trap, but with his newfound strength, he fears no coward. He decides to play along. As they depart, a shadow flickers. A hidden assassin strikes from the darkness, aiming straight for Meng Jiao. Ye Yang senses the killing intent. The path they're taking leads nowhere near the celebration. The trap is sprung. From the shadows, the arrogant Tan Hao emerges. His twisted grin reveals a thirst for bloody vengeance. Yi Yang, did you think you were a noble? He mocks. You're nothing but a dog in expensive robes. Two losers seeking a rematch? Ye Yang scoffs. But Tan Hao sneers, claiming today, even wings won't save him. The four symbols array activates. A massive formation erupts, trapping Ye Yang within an inescapable cage of energy. His strength vanishes instantly. His internal qi feels like lead, pinned down by the weight of the array. Don't struggle, Tan Hao laughs. Inside this formation, even a god couldn't summon a single spark of power. Unless you possess the sect's blood-red pill, you are merely a lamb waiting for the slaughter. Your cultivation will slowly wither away. You've finally run out of luck and time, you arrogant slave. Ye Kuang is clearly a brainless puppet, but his stupidity has led them into a truly lethal corner. Tan Hao hands a blade to Ye Kuang. Take your revenge. Carve your pride back out of his flesh. A blade pierces Ye Yang's hand, but he doesn't flinch. Instead, he mocks the young master's pathetic servitude. Enraged, Ye Kuang lunges for the heart, but Tan Hao intervenes. He wants a prize more valuable than blood. He demands the secret arts from the Wuxiang wall. Hand over the manual, and I might let you live. You want my power? Yi Yang sneers. If my arts are so terrifying, aren't you afraid of the consequences? He secretly calls for AZ. Normal chi is blocked, but there is one forbidden way to defy fate: the primitive eternal art. By reversing his very meridians, he can bypass the array's suppression entirely. It's a dangerous gamble, master, but it's your only hope, AZ cries. Ye Yang immediately enters a meditative trance. He begins to circulate his power in reverse, preparing to unleash a storm that will shatter their arrogance. Unable to restrain his rage, Qin Hao lunges forward. But Ye Yang catches the blade bare-handed. A crushing grip slams him away. Qin Hao finally feels the cold touch of true death. His trap failed, and his chi is locked. Like lightning, Ye Yang seizes control of the battlefield. Cold steel bites into his throat. Yet the bastard still barks threats like a cornered dog. Kill me and your woman dies. A silver flash, and a blade pierces through his palm. He reveals a bloody scale from Meng Yao. Ye Yang's killing intent explodes like a volcano. A guard is crushed instantly. I will trade all your lives for hers without hesitation. Terror fills Diepquang's eyes. Wait, I know where she is. Please, spare me. It is useless. My men will execute her the moment you show your face. Silence, dog. Who gave you permission to bark? Ye Yang's grip tightens around his neck. Defeated, Qin Hao leads the way. The next day, Peak Master Chu Min arrives for blood. How dare a trash outer disciple strike my student? He looks down with divine arrogance. Seize him at once. Ye Yang scoffs at their twisted, hypocritical sense of justice. Is it a crime for the weak to survive? The Peak Master sneers at his logic. Throw him in the dungeon. But Ye Yang's chi erupts, blasting the guards aside. Chu Min strikes with a mountain-crushing palm. Suddenly, a terrifying pressure stops the blow cold. It is Peak Master Su Mok. He is an outer disciple, not your personal plaything. He crippled my kin. I have every right to punish him. Tension crackles in the air. If your students are weak, that is their own shame. Su Mok's words cut like glass. Protecting this demon spy? Then do not blame me for being heartless. Two titans clash. The very earth trembles as their monstrous auras collide. The sky splits under the fetus breath power. Suddenly, the sect leader descends from above. Enough of this circus. Chu Min immediately weaves a web of lies and deceit. He demands blood for his fallen students. But Su Mok stands his ground firmly. Qin Hao ambushed him first. This was nothing more than self-defense. Suddenly, Ye Thanlam steps forward. Her eyes are as cold as a winter storm. I saw Ye Yang beating them without mercy. She twists the truth to trap him. A betrayal from the shadows. Ye Yang realizes he has been lured into a trap. Chu Min's rage turns to his own student. Beaten by a commoner? You pathetic, spineless trash. 3 months of isolation for you. Then, the sect leader's gaze turns to Ye Yang. Infighting is strictly forbidden. Choose your own punishment, boy. I will take one strike from Peak Master Chu Min. The crowd gasps in disbelief. I will crush you into dust. Su Mok begs him to reconsider this madness. A late-stage strike is certain death for any mortal, but Ye Yang stands tall. I have my reasons, trust me. Chu Min smiles, masking his murderous intent. The sect leader watches the boy closely. He will not let a genius die easily. I will intervene if his life fades, he thinks, but Chu Min readies his power. He promises mercy but funnels every drop of chi into his fist. He wants blood. The 8 Extremes fist roars forward. Yi Yang stands his ground as a two awakens. A massive explosion rocks the entire peak. Yet Ye Yang remains completely unscathed and calm. Thank you for holding back, master. But inside his soul, a two coughs blood. I must enter a deep slumber to heal. Her soul fragment is fading fast. Protecting you from that blow took everything I had left. Her voice grows faint. You must walk the path alone now. Guilt washes over Ye Yang like a tide. Suddenly, a legendary figure appears. The first disciple, Shen Yang, has finally arrived. Just like Ye Qinglam, they shared a secret bond while shadows loomed over Yunyang City. The purple solar omen has appeared. Great sects and demon tribes are finally making their move. Our sect won't let the treasure fall to demons. A vanguard is heading to Yunyang, the chosen ones. Lu Shui, Qin Hao, and shockingly, the lowly outer disciple, Ye Yang. The crowd erupted in disbelief. Why send a commoner when the sect's elites are ready? Peak Master Chu roared, the brat is a demon spy. He even crippled my top student. Bringing this traitor along puts the entire mission and all our lives at lethal risk. You keep barking about spies, old man. Maybe the true traitor is actually you. Chu unleashed his killing intent, but the sect master intervened. Junior brother, stand down now. Quiet your mouth, or I'll remind you what these old bones can still do. He reached the void-watching realm. Meanwhile, Ye Yang headed into the wild to grow stronger. Using the primeval eternal art, he mastered the reverse heaven cycle to sharpen his senses. His perception transcended the physical world, feeling every heartbeat within 10,000 miles. He detected two black bears in a brutal struggle. Time to see the show. Lurking behind the rocks, he watched the beasts clash. But the battle was agonizingly slow. Are they playing tag? At this rate, they'll both die of old age first. He hurled a stone, igniting their primal rage. Finally, the true carnage began to unfold. A victor emerged, but the fallen bear launched a desperate, bloody ambush for the prize. That fruit is legendary. Like a lightning bolt, Ye Yang snatched the treasure away. The beast turned its fury on him. Its power surpassed the blood wolves. Crap! He threw his ultimate strike, but the bear didn't flinch. Did I even hit you? Its defense was impenetrable. With no choice left, he unleashed his devastating thought wave. The beast collapsed, but the cost was high. His spiritual energy was completely drained. He was running on empty. Using such power repeatedly was tearing his body apart. Suddenly, the first bear stirred. Time to get the hell out of here now. He took to the skies on his sword, leaving the grounded beast in the dust. He swallowed the fruit whole and fled, but the Black Crow cliffs felt ominous. Even his divine techniques couldn't pierce the dark veil of this mysterious, abyssal cliff. Fire erupted in his veins. That red fruit was a ticking bomb of pure spirit. His energy shattered, gravity took hold, and he plummeted straight into the dark void. Deep below, ancient demons watched. No mortal survives the touch of the dark mountain. This realm consumes even monsters. Yet, Ye Yang fought the fire burning his soul. He forced his qi to circulate, shielding his meridians from the fruit's overwhelming power. With one explosive strike, a boulder disintegrated. Behold, the power of the Crimson Fist. In the crushing darkness, he found a demon relic, a perfect, glowing lantern for him. The light pierced the shadows, alerting the lurking horrors. Had their sanctuary been compromised? Bloodlust rose, but their barrier was failing. One wrong move would ruin their plan. Months of work would be lost. They turned to stone, hiding their presence as statues. Ye Yang ventured deeper. The demonic aura here was thick enough to choke a god. He approached a pitch-black pool, tripped, and slammed right into a stone demon statue. "A ghost!" he shrieked. But the demon recognized him. It was the brat from before. Ye Yang unleashed a purifying blast, making the demon seethe with pure, unadulterated rage. "I'll kill him," the demon hissed, but he was trapped. Then, Ye Yang spotted her. "What a goddess," he whispered, his hand reaching out to touch the stone beauty. "Unhand her, you brat." The seal shattered, and the nightmare was finally reborn. "Seek death, brat." Danger flared as Ye Yang faced two monstrous beasts. His current cultivation? A death sentence. The beasts snarled, claiming their prey. Escape was impossible. But the junior sister intervened to stop them. "Opening the seal is our priority. Do not let one insignificant human ruin our grand plan," she hissed. "I seek no trouble," Ye Yang stated calmly. "Step aside, or regret it." His words only fueled their rage. "I was just passing through," he teased. "Farewell." He recalled his master's warnings about cross-dimensional demons. Could this black lake be the portal from the other realm? Ye Yang watched from the shadows. What are they plotting? He activated the reverse heavenly circle, masking his presence completely from their senses. It worked perfectly. Eavesdropping, he confirmed the lake was indeed the gateway to the demon world. Suddenly, the magic map scroll pulsed with light. His cover was blown instantly. Ye Yang was forced to reveal himself. "Our human arts are vast," he smirked. "Stealth techniques are just the beginning of my power, monsters. Cunning human. One final warning. Leave this place now, or perish where you stand. If you could kill me, you would have done it already." Let us see who truly dominates this fate. Failing to intimidate him, they switched tactics. "Human, help us open this seal and we will spare you. Our demon army will rule this world. Join us, and a high position of power shall be yours." A position? In your dreams. Only a fool would believe a demon's lies. "I refuse your filth. Born poor, but I have honor. I will never conspire with monsters. Break the seal yourself. Humans are just food in the food chain. Our dominance over your kind is inevitable, boy." The black lake surged violently. Ye Yang realized demon seals are just like human formations. Break the core, and the entire array collapses. He scanned the area for the hidden weakness. "There, that stone behind them is the catalyst." "Found you," he laughed triumphantly. The beasts panicked, but it was too late. A massive explosion rocked the entire cavern. The cave trembled. Yang moved like lightning to escape, but his path was suddenly blocked. Trapped! In a desperate move, he plunged into the abyssal black pond to survive their pursuit. The water was strangely viscous, clinging to him. Suddenly, the magic map surged forth from his robe. It devoured the darkness. The grime vanished as the map absorbed every drop of evil energy. The scroll glowed intensely. Ancient, cryptic runes flooded directly into Yang's mind. What is this? The runes didn't burn his brain this time. My willpower has finally evolved. Suddenly, a demon materialized. Behold, the great demon king has returned to conquer the world. Yang wasn't scared. He was just confused. Is that a talking cockroach? He couldn't believe it. Who are you calling a cockroach? I will consume your life essence as a light snack. His speed was blinding. In an instant, the Demon King appeared right behind Yang. Surrender your blood to me. The whisper sent chills down his spine. Yang grimaced. Back off, creep. Crimson aura exploded, forcing the Demon King back in pure terror. The darkness was being absorbed. The map's runes were merging with this human? Impossible. The demon attacked again, only to be struck by a mental beam. It shrieked in absolute agony. It writhed on the ground. This so-called king was terrified of the scroll's ancient power. From a titan to a tiny bug, Yang plucked it up by its whiskers with 2 fingers. Where is that arrogance now? The creature groveled, begging to be his servant to stay alive. It pleaded for mercy. With his companion still asleep, Yang decided to take it along. A cockroach pet? How unusual. But this pest knew the secrets of the Blackwater region. This was a lethal, toxic zone. Yet, Yang remained completely unharmed. Truly a miracle of cultivation. Do not underestimate this bug. It's an ancient divine beast that feeds on pure darkness. A survivor since the dawn of time. Its lineage predates the very legends of the world. Now, it was just a parasite. Lead the way out, Yang commanded the creature sternly. Following the bug's lead, he dived back into the depths. The path to freedom had finally begun. Surviving the Blackwater abyss was no small feat. Its lethal toxins would have rotted any ordinary mortal. Navigating the treacherous currents, Yang finally located the exit and escaped his watery tomb just in time. Outside, the green-haired beast fumed with primal rage, his complex formation ruined just moments before its completion. Just as the monster assumed his prey was dead, Yang erupted from the depths like a god. The beast gasped as the boy emerged unscathed, proving to be as persistent and stubborn as a mountain leech. Seeing the beast's fury, Xiao Chang began to question if he had chosen the wrong master to follow. Yang didn't flinch for a second, charging head-on against the monster with reckless and unyielding martial courage. Their collision sent massive shockwaves through the air, forcing both fighters back as the beast grinned with excitement. Impressive for a mere human, the monster hissed, while Xiao Chang's ego suddenly inflated once again. Bragging of his status as an ancient divine beast, the bug was stomped flat 3 seconds later. So much for a legendary guardian. The poor cockroach was nearly turned into a pathetic green smear. But there was a reason for his weakness. His true power remained sealed within the demon map. Against such overwhelming demonic aura, a human's cultivation usually wouldn't stand a ghost of a chance. To flip the script, Yang needed a perfect opening for a lethal, one-shot spiritual mind strike. The beast's fist whistled through the air. Yang dodged, but the monster's speed was truly terrifying. A heavy blow connected, sending blood flying as Yang felt his very ribs begin to crack. Despite the agony, he gripped the beast's arm tight, trapping him in a deadly and desperate embrace. Seizing the moment, he unleashed a mindwave laser, piercing the beast's forehead with pure psychic energy. The monster shrieked in pain. He had underestimated the boy's mental prowess during their previous encounter. Watching his master struggle, the treacherous Xiao Chang secretly hoped to reclaim his lost throne of power. The monster struck back like a lightning bolt, appearing before Yang in the blink of an eye. A brutal uppercut sent the boy soaring, but the relentless beast gave him no room to breathe. Teleporting behind him, the creature slammed a heavy palm into Yang, cratering him into the earth. Xiao Qiang watched from the shadows, his conscience flickering as he hesitated to save his fallen master. The beast sneered at the silent crater, convinced the human had finally met his wretched end. Suddenly, a chilling aura erupted from the rubble as Yang unsheathed his blade with divine fury. Reeling from the spiritual trauma, the beast's movements faltered, leaving his vital points wide open. With a single, decisive thrust, Yang brought the monster to its knees as its female companion wailed. Enraged, she transformed, her skin tearing as she grew into a massive, muscular titan of destruction. Her colossal fist smashed the earth, But Ye Yang had already vanished, reappearing several meters away. Though her strength had tripled, her massive frame made her movements sluggish and predictable to his eyes. The air turned to ash. Meanwhile, that sneaky cockroach Xiao Chang was busy scavenging the green beast's corpse for a power boost. The female demon tried to protect her fallen comrade, but the thieving bug vanished into the depths. Seizing the distraction, Ye Yang's sword flashed out, skewering the female beast through her blackened heart. She collapsed beside her partner, gasping her final breath as the cavern began to tremble and groan. As Ye Yang emerged, lightning tore through the sky, completely obliterating the mountain cave behind him. The sound of battle echoed from afar, drawing him toward a clash between a girl and a demon. It was Thon Lam, wielding her purple lightning sword style against a powerful, shadowy demonic entity. Despite her flurry of blades, the demon laughed, treating her elite techniques like mere children's toys. He gathered dark energy for a devastating counter, while Ye Yang watched, weighing his next move. This was the perfect chance to test his newfound limits against a truly worthy, high-level adversary. Thon Lam managed to pierce the demon's arm, but her success only fueled his murderous, chaotic rage. Enraged by the wound, the demon lunged to crush her throat as she stood frozen in fear. At the absolute brink of death, bolts of celestial lightning descended as Ye Yang finally made his entrance. Ye Yang unleashed his new divine ability, world-ending thunder. Terrified, the demon scout fled faster than a shadow. Left behind, Qing Lam fumed in silence. To think a proud genius like her was saved by a nobody. Suddenly, Ye Yang collapsed from exhaustion. To repay her debt, she fed him a precious recovery pill. Opening his eyes, he found Qing Lam nearby. She was focused, desperately stabilizing her fractured energy. Ye Yang put on his best clueless act. He innocently asked if she had defeated that terrifying beast. That monster was a Luo too, a high-ranking demon. Yet Ye Yang continued his facade of being a weakling. He pretended not to know which master helped them. But Qing Lam was no fool. She knew the truth. Ye Yang broke into a cold sweat. Had he exposed his secret power and that new lightning technique? How could he explain it? But she didn't care. Her priority was reporting the demon's arrival to the sect. Returning to the Flying Immortal Gate now was suicide. If word of her injuries spread, enemies would hunt her down. In this world, strength breeds resentment. And just as expected, a new threat appeared from the shadows. A massive figure emerged, seeking a bloody reputation. He wanted Qing Lam's head to make a name for himself. His heavy mace swung with lethal intent. Seeing danger, Ye Yang secretly unleashed a surge of lightning. The assassin survived the shock like a stubborn leech. He stood firm, ready to finish his cruel work. But before he could strike, his life ended. A single blow sent him straight to the underworld. To hide his strength, Ye Yang feigned terror. He peeked through his fingers at the gruesome scene. To Qing Lam, his act was almost comical. She warned him that the path ahead would only get bloodier. Weakened, she collapsed into his arms. He carried her to a secluded cave to safely recover. After a grueling session, Qing Lam reached a new height. She successfully broke through to the fetal respiration realm. Meanwhile, Ye Yang remained at a lower stage. Yet, reaching this level in 1 month was pure madness. To become a true inner disciple, one must be a legend. Defeating a fetal respiration expert was the ultimate test. Qing Lam promised to handle the demon report herself. She told him to meet her at the peak tomorrow. With a flash of light, she vanished into the sky. Leaving Ye Yang behind, staring at the vast horizon, he realized the gap between them was still a mountain. But the next day, the entire sect was buzzing. Rumors said Ye Yang sent a Shura demon running. Afraid to reveal his secrets, he crafted a clever lie. He claimed the demon was already weakened by luck. Through this, he was officially promoted to inner disciple. He received his identification token and a cultivation pack. The rewards were far greater than he had ever imagined. Leaving his filthy shack behind, he moved to luxury quarters. His new room was a paradise compared to his old life. Inside sat a mysterious chest waiting to be opened. Without hesitation, Ye Yang broke the seal. A blinding light filled the room, revealing a treasure. It was the secret manual. The Crimson Sun Violet Manor. Activating the Violet Manor required immense mental strength. One mistake could shatter his mind forever. Ye Yang plunged into intense training for 2 long days. He focused every ounce of will on breaking the internal seal. Cracks began to form on his consciousness. The barrier was stubborn, but he refused to back down. Drawing his sword, he struck at his spiritual limits. Suddenly, a golden tower emerged from the void. He gasped for air, his body trembling with exhaustion. But inside him stood the legendary 9-star Violet Manor. It was a 9-story masterpiece of the highest grade. a rare phenomenon that most cultivators only dream of. As he meditated, he discovered a hidden divine ability. An ancient aura began to radiate from his soul. A massive lunar halo expanded, engulfing the entire room. He had mastered the sea-rising bright moon technique. To think such power belonged to an ordinary boy. He could now suppress the strength of anyone he faced. This was the power of the primordial eternal sutra. He had become a monster among men in record time. He entered the Violet Manor's vast internal dimension. It was an endless void, perfect for storing his treasures. The next morning, it was time for his first duty. Ye Yang scanned the mission board for a challenge. He picked a high-stakes mission worth tens of thousands. Without a second thought, he locked in the request. The supervisor's smile instantly turned into a mask of horror. His face went pale at the suicidal task selected. But Ye Yang didn't fear death or any man alive. He walked away, leaving the trembling manager behind. Fools rushing into death's embrace. Ye Yang arrives at a silent, eerie village. The pungent stench of blood hits his senses. He sprints toward the carnage. Horrifying. The entire village is a burning graveyard of mangled, twisted bodies. Not even the animals survived this massacre. Ye Yang arrived one step too late. Checking the corpses, he finds jagged bite marks. This was a predatory slaughter. The Blood Tribe! Suddenly, his primal instincts scream the monster is still here. A figure wreathed in dark miasma sits atop a rock, radiating pure malice. Ye Yang vanishes into the brush, avoiding becoming just another cultivation sacrifice. Hiding proved futile. The predator senses him and unleashes a devastating energy blast. The earth shatters as a boulder explodes. Luckily, Ye Yang's reflexes are god tier. The blood demon roars in fury, summoning the forbidden phantom blood technique. Sanguine claws descend from above. But Ye Yang counters with heavenly lightning. Two titanic forces collide in a blinding explosion that rocks the entire valley. Dust clears, showing both warriors unscathed. The demon lunges through the smoke. A mountain-crushing punch descends. But Ye Yang's body surges with crackling electricity. One-handed block. The sheer kinetic force sends the blood demon flying backward. Realizing he met his match, the demon pulls a cursed blade from his chest. Steel rain falls, but Ye Yang dances through the slashes like a phantom. Pathetic. It is time for this monster to receive a one-way ticket to hell. Lightning coils around his legs. He moves faster than light, striking the stomach. No breathing room. He unleashes the newly acquired Sea of Rising Moon art. The demon is sealed in a divine prison, paralyzed and utterly helpless now. Ye Yang stalks forward with murderous intent as thunderclouds darken the sky. He realized his mistake too late. Divine lightning vaporizes the monster instantly. A mountain of treasures and a mysterious map appear from the shattered core. The map leads to the Bandit King's lair. A new journey begins now. The fortress is a steel trap, crawling with thousands of elite bandit guards. Suddenly, shadows descend from the sky. Cultivators from the great sects arrive. All-out war erupts between the factions. Ye Yang uses the chaos to slip inside. Playing the fisherman's game, he sneaks through the shadows with perfect ease. A silent takedown. He neutralizes a bandit with a potent sleeping concoction. Disguise equipped. Ye Yang infiltrates the grand hall, blending in with the enemy. Gold glitters from every corner. His eyes burn with the fire of greed. A lone sentinel guards the horde. Ye Yang plays a deadly game of distraction. The furious guard abandons his post, lured directly into the chaotic main battle. Opportunity strikes. He runs forward, but a massive guard blocks the way. A heavy fist whistles toward his face. Ye Yang's agility is truly inhuman. No time to waste. He traps the second guard in the Sea Moon seal. Frozen in time. Ye Yang delivers a devastating counterpunch to the ribs. The guard slams into the wall, but his skin is hard as iron. This brute is incredibly resilient. Ye Yang draws his blade for the kill. He channels divine lightning into the steel, preparing for a final execution strike. At full speed, the electrified blade pierces straight through the guard's heart. Consciousness returns only to reveal a nightmare. The guard is utterly confused now. He opens his eyes to find a sword through his chest. Death arrives. Just as he thought the path was clear, shadows from the enemy sect descended. Their terrifying speed left him speechless. Had they already finished the battle? Backed into a corner, Ye Yang played his best card. Long time no see, brother. It was a total bluff. The leader paused, desperately searching his own memory. Seizing the moment of confusion, Ye Yang vanished before the truth came out. The leader prioritized the treasure, letting the insignificant ant escape into the woods. Exhausted and empty-handed, Ye Yang wandered through this cursed, hellish forest. His legs were screaming in pain. yet the exit remained nowhere in sight. Suddenly, he spotted his discarded clothes. He had been walking in circles, an illusion array. He sighed, sitting down to recover his depleted chi. But peace was short-lived. A purple-clad beauty with a captivating figure appeared. Relief turned to caution. Would this mysterious woman guide him to safety? The woman smirked coldly. Escaping her grasp wouldn't be that easy, boy. She was the peak of narcissism, claiming to be the realm's greatest beauty. Realizing she was delusional, Ye Yang began his masterclass flattery to survive. "You are heaven's masterpiece. Truly #1 under the stars," he praised. Unmoved by his words, she threatened to seal him here for all eternity. Was she truly a master, or just another silver-tongued deceiver in disguise? "I am the renowned Meng Xian. I don't play games with mere brats." When he mentioned his senior sister, Thon Lam, the woman's eyes widened. Horror struck Ye Yang. She was a notorious demoness famous for deadly insects. The demoness offered a dark deal, his freedom in exchange for a favor. With no other choice, Ye Yang followed her deeper into the supernatural mist. They trekked through waist-high grass toward a lonely, secluded mountain hut. Looking back, the path vanished. Everything was blurred by a mystical haze. They had reached the array's core, the point of no return for any mortal. She stepped inside first. Hesitantly, Ye Yang crossed the threshold behind her. Instantly, strange smoke erupted, and the entire room surged with blinding light. 4 pillars rose, trapping him behind an indestructible and invisible spirit barrier. Betrayal! He had been played like a fiddle by this cunning demoness. He was merely the sacrificial pawn needed for her own grand escape. She vanished with a mocking laugh, leaving him to rot in total silence. He unleashed his lightning, but the barrier didn't even show a single scratch. Despair set in. His struggle against fate seemed utterly meaningless and futile. Accepting his fate, he sat to meditate, hoping for a miracle breakthrough. Surprisingly, the chi here was dense, rapidly accelerating his internal cultivation speed. Just as he neared the 3rd stage, violent thunder shook the entire roof. Lightning bolts rained down. Ye Yang danced through the chaos, barely surviving. Above, 2 female powerhouses were clashing, tearing the very sky apart. "Hey, watch where you're aiming," he screamed from his golden cage. Neither woman listened, their deadly magic and insults flying equally fast. Like an ant caught between titans, Ye Yang could only watch helplessly. Their mockery cut deeper than blades. "Can't even dodge this, you weakling?" Caught between 2 monsters, Ye Yang cursed his own pathetic lack of power. But as the demoness tried to flee, she struck a hidden sealing seal. Thon Lam finally realized they were trapped in a nightmare while the demoness nursed her bruised pride. Escape seemed impossible. This was no ordinary trap, but the inner sanctum of a supreme powerhouse. Usually, a sacrifice opens the path to freedom, but now even the demoness was truly cornered. Suddenly, Ye Yang understood his explosive growth speed. He gathered his focus for one final attempt. A wild realization hit him like lightning. To escape, he must devour this entire spiritual realm. With newfound arrogance, Ye Yang made his bold declaration. The 2 women stared in utter disbelief. The demoness sneered, mocking the mere human brat. How could a lowly boy know such secrets? But Thon Lam clung to his words desperately. Even a sliver of hope was enough for her. As the women bickered, Ye Yang stayed focused. He plunged back into the depths of cultivation. His aura surged, shaking the very air around them. The rivals watched as he shattered his limits. Success! He opened his eyes and spoke the truth. To leave, they must conquer the 9 trials. By mastering these 9 bonds, they could inherit everything. Their fate was tied to this ancient mansion. Having no choice, the trio prepared for the unknown. They stepped together into the first deadly trial. Ye Yang offered his blood to the ancient altar. Crimson runes began to glow with a haunting light. The world blurred as spiritual energy enveloped them. In a flash, they were cast into a wasteland. Sand stretched infinitely as far as eyes could see. They had arrived, but the real test began. The demoness urged them to find the next path. Suddenly, a hand lunged from the shifting dunes. It clamped onto Thon Lam's ankle like a vice. A monstrous figure emerged from the scorching sand. 2 wicked fangs bared in a hungry, demonic snarl. Thon Lam's lightning flashed, repelling the beast instantly. This was a Shura warrior, a bringer of death. One wrong step meant a shallow desert grave. The earth trembled violently beneath their feet. A dark presence was closing in on them fast. A demonic legion appeared, hungry for their souls. Their leader, a horned dwarf, laughed with malice. Thon Lam channeled her essence into her blade. A massive orb of thunder crackled with power. The demoness unleashed her deadly Black Lotus arts. For once, these enemies fought as one soul. Their combined strike tore through the demon ranks. The sand was dyed red with monster blood. A massive crater opened beneath the fallen foes. Yet, the peace lasted only a single heartbeat. Petty insults flew as they resumed their rivalry. Deep down, their bond was far from stable. They spotted a glowing orb, the heavenly immortal heart, a treasure capable of boosting one's ultimate skills. The demoness lunged, but the orb was faster. It vanished back into the depths of the desert. Refusing to let it go, Yang grabbed a shovel. He prepared to dig up the entire wasteland, but the treasure was buried 3,000 meters deep. Digging was futile. The search had to continue. 3 hours later, they reached the towering cliffs. There stood a master of the void-gazing realm. The demoness sensed no mercy from this guardian. It was time for a fight to the death. Lightning and darkness merged once again in battle. They unleashed their strongest techniques in perfect sync. An explosion rocked the canyon, filling it with smoke, but a hand emerged, unfazed by the chaos. The guardian crushed their attacks with bare hands. His raw power turned their hope into ash. They retreated, realization hitting them like a blow. But escape was not an option today. Chains of pure energy snared them where they stood. The monster moved with the speed of shadows. He appeared before Yang in a terrifying blink. This high-level demon beast sought their very lives. Yang stood firm, shielding the two women. The monster's eyes gleamed with a sadistic interest. He grabbed the young man's throat with iron strength. One squeeze would end Yang's journey forever. To the beast, Yang was just another bug. Saving others was a fool's errand in this hell. Gasping for air, Yang offered a desperate bargain. He promised to lead the monster to freedom. Why would a king leave his perfect domain? Here, his word was absolute law and destiny. Yang pushed on, gambling with his life. He knew this beast guarded the third floor. Released, the demon toys with his prey, but Yang sees a path to victory. Mocking his power, Yang claims stronger masters wait in the upper heavens above him. He is a mere grain of sand, yet the monster fears the humans outside. To prove his words, Yang offers an oath to heaven, seeking the monster's trust. Unfazed by silver tongues, the demon pivots, questioning why he saved those two women. He mocks Yang's devotion, twisting it into a tale of pathetic mortal love. Seeking a twisted spectacle, the monster demands a show of carnal desires immediately. With a roar of earth magic, high stone walls surge to form a dark dome. Inside, the women lose themselves, their eyes burning with a sudden, unnatural lust. Yang feels nothing but disgust as they swarm him with desperate, hungry gazes. Closing his eyes, he delivers a swift strike to Thonlam's neck, silencing her. The monster whispers that only sin can break the poison, but Yang resists. He enters deep meditation, absorbing primordial essence while the demoness clings like a serpent. Maintaining his inner peace amidst the chaos, a blinding vortex of light suddenly erupts. Outside, the monster watches in shock as a divine technique shatters the air itself. In a flash, all three vanish, transcending safely to the trials of the third floor. Landing in a dark forest, Yang carries the unconscious pair to a hidden cave. He pours his own vital essence into Thonlam, battling the poison within her. Yang grows pale and withered, while Thonlam wakes with a renewed, vibrant glow. Ungrateful, she prepares to strike, but the demoness's barrier blocks her treacherous hand. Without him, she would be a corpse. Yet her pride refuses to accept the truth. She coldly demands his silence regarding this day, showing no mercy or gratitude. Plotting his next move, Yang offers a fake smile and agrees to her terms. The path ahead looms, yet Thonlam's arrogance leads her to follow him regardless. The demoness even claims him as her husband, clinging to him like a shadow. Playing the fool to survive, Yang simply laughs, masking his true martial intent. Closing his eyes, he focuses his soul, preparing to tear open the fabric of space. The air warps and twists, spiraling into a gateway of pure, distorted energy. With a single finger, he pierces the void, cleaving the world in two before them. Stepping through the golden light, they return to the altar, leaving the nightmare behind. With one final threat, Thonlam vanishes like a bolt, leaving without a word. But a new shadow remains. The demoness refuses to leave the young master's side. She demands he visit the holy demon land, striking him like a bolt of lightning. Trapped by her gaze, Yang can only weep inwardly as they reach a tavern. Surrounded by staring demons, the atmosphere grows thick with hostility and dark curiosity. The demoness slams the table, her roar scattering the crowd like frightened prey. Fearing the lioness's wrath, the onlookers vanish into the shadows in an instant. She boasts of her absolute prestige, a dark empress ruling over this lowly tavern. The table shatters under her mere presence, a display of raw, overwhelming power. Suddenly, a commotion outside draws Yang's attention, hinting at a new destiny. Though annoyed by his indifference, she follows him, playing the role of a devoted wife. Seeing his interest in the chaotic crowd, she summons the waiter with a sharp clap. She demands the truth behind the noise, her voice brooking no delay or deception. A legendary tomb has appeared 10 miles north, hiding treasures and ancient divine inheritances. Having gained the knowledge she sought, she dismisses the servant with a cold wave. Even when treated like a lowly dog, he maintained a professional smile for his venerable client. Once the fool left, the demoness turned to him, her eyes glowing with a predatory, mischievous light. She hungered to lure the protagonist into raiding ancient tombs, but he had zero interest in graves. Before he could refuse, her suffocating demonic aura crushed his spirit, leaving him absolutely paralyzed with fear. Unable to resist her power, he swallowed his pride in tears, forced to obey her every command. Seeing his submission, the demoness joyfully prepared their gear for the forbidden hunt in the ancient tombs. Ahead of them lay a breathtaking landscape where countless demon tribes gathered for the secret realm's opening. However, the protagonist's sharp instincts screamed danger. He could smell a lethal trap lurking in the air. He coldly ordered a retreat if things turned south, his heroic aura making the demoness fall even harder. Suddenly, without a single warning, the earth beneath them shattered, opening a terrifying maw into the abyss. While the greedy demons rushed blindly toward their doom, our hero kept a cold, calculating head throughout. He held the demoness back as the others fell into the darkness, exactly as his premonition had warned. She quickly grabbed him, soaring upward while manifesting a magical barrier to shield them from the unknown. Realizing it was a trap, a blinding streak of light suddenly shot out from the deep, jagged rift. A withered skeletal hand snatched a fleeing cultivator, crushing them into bloody dust with godlike speed. The horrific sight made them tremble. Suddenly, ghostly palanquin bearers emerged from the shadows like a nightmare. Their leader ordered a stop directly before the demoness, revealing a woman of peerless, icy beauty inside. Jealous of the demoness's superior looks, the girl cruelly ordered her face to be rashed and ruined. But with the protagonist standing firm like an unshakable mountain, no one dared touch her precious hair. A subordinate recognized the demoness as the great emperor's pearl, a status far too high to offend. Prioritizing the ancient treasure, the arrogant girl decided to temporarily spare the demoness's beautiful face. The carriage then vanished into the rift, charging straight toward the heart of the secret realm's mysteries. The demoness identified them as the Moon Shadow sect, whose arrogance respected neither heaven nor the sex. Staring at the dark rift, our hero asked if they should follow them into the chaotic depths. Refusing to be outdone by that jealous girl, the demoness dragged him down into the cavernous abyss. They entered a tomb where the remains of ancient masters and dry skeletons littered the cold ground. Every corpse told a story of horror, their life force completely drained until only bone remained. Hearing a sudden commotion, they rushed forward to find a vast, hidden meadow blooming within the tomb. The survivors gathered there, while those with more greed than brains had already become part of the soil. Sensing a lethal presence in the herb garden, the demoness warned him not to take a single step. One greedy fool lunged forward, his eyes shining with madness at the sight of the rare herbs. Mocking the others for their hesitation, he charged ahead, ready to claim the divine treasures for himself. Racing toward his inevitable doom, he reached for a herb as if his life were worth nothing. Suddenly, divine pillars of light descended from heaven, skewering the man with terrifying, absolute precision. His limbs were severed instantly as he fell. Another sacrifice to the invisible, ancient killing array. Seeing the attack manifest without any warning, the demoness finally decoded the laws of this deadly place. She whispered that they were trapped in the legendary Shadow Array, a master's masterpiece from ages past. The rival girl denied it, claiming the creator had long been slain by the great emperors themselves. Ignoring the girl's ignorance, the demoness watched as the mountain ahead began to shift and groan. Suddenly, the earth shook violently as the mountain before them began to transform into something truly monstrous. A giant, hairy hand emerged, a demonic ape spirit with razor-sharp fangs and blood-red, murderous eyes. After a thunderous roar, the beast swatted two men away like flies with one devastating, casual strike. Sensing the beast's gaze lock onto his soul, our hero grabbed the demoness and fled immediately. The demonic ape pursued them with relentless speed, its heavy footsteps echoing like the drums of war. Realizing he was the beast's true target, the boy prepared to face the monster to save her. They split up to lure the beast. The girl was ready for a tragic K-drama goodbye. Suddenly, a massive explosion rocked the earth. Even the demon ape had to shield its eyes. Ye was dragged into the depths. Gasping for air, his vision blurred as he drifted away. Just as he lost consciousness, his body drifted to the surface. The ape stood there gloating. Seeing Ye swept away by the current, the beast assumed he was finally fish food. But Ye will to live was legendary. He broke free from the watery grave. He emerged like a hero in a shampoo commercial. He had cheated death itself. His wounds vanished instantly. A surge of raw, ancient power began to flood his veins. He tested his new strength. With a flick of his wrist, a devastating blast erupted. It was the legendary dragon elephant physique. He had swallowed the sacred essence. Every drop of that liquid was now pure power. He couldn't let it go to waste. He drank until his belly was round as a barrel. He looked like a gluttonous pig. Waddling through the tunnels, he searched for a way out of the cave maze. Caves were everywhere. Suddenly, the echoes of a brutal clash reached his ears. With one slap, his belly deflated. His chi exploded, returning him to peak form. Feeling light as a feather, he dashed toward the sounds of the struggle. He found the demon ape locked in a death match with a savage bull spirit. In the corner, the demoness cowered in fear. The ape roared, ready for the kill. Ye Yang didn't hesitate. He dived from above, delivering a skull-crushing blow. The demoness gasped in joy. She threw herself into his arms, sobbing with relief. She feared he was lost forever. But then she felt that his cultivation had skyrocketed. Noticing her shock, Ye Yang pulled out a vial of the essence he saved for her. While they shared a moment, the ape felt like a rejected third wheel. It was fuming. Enraged by the romance, the beast slammed the ground in a jealous rage. Ye Yang locked and loaded. Their fists collided with the force of a falling star. Ye Yang flashed a deadly smirk. He leaped high, channeling every ounce of his power. One final strike to the head sent the ape to the afterlife. They were safe, but the crowd just scattered. Ye Yang was annoyed. Where was his standing ovation? The demoness realized this wasn't just a cave. It was the entrance to a great tomb. They followed the trail to a massive coffin. The tension in the air was suffocating. Two crimson eyes flickered to life inside. The heavy lid creaked open. A skeletal hand shot out. It snatched a nearby cultivator and dragged him into the dark. The skeleton stood tall, its voice echoing with the authority of an ancient master. It mocked their weak realms. The cultivators were paralyzed with absolute terror, the array venerable. The demoness realized he had lured them here as sacrifices. The skeleton froze. Who stole my dragon blood essence? It roared in fury. It began to grow into a towering giant. Ye Yang broke into a cold sweat. I drank his entire stash, he realized. The skeleton lashed out in rage. A single wave of energy sent everyone flying like broken dolls. The survivors scrambled in panic. But the skeleton's hollow gaze found them all. It conjured a sphere of pure destruction and launched it at the fleeing crowd. The power was overwhelming. Ye Yang grabbed the demoness's hand and bolted. They ran like their lives depended on it. The ancient monster gave chase. The giant skeleton slammed its fist down, shattering the ground. Its eyes flared red. Beneath the earth, something sinister began to crawl toward its next victim. Skeletal claws erupted from the shadows, shackling his feet in a death grip. Ye Yang lunged forward, shoving the demoness to safety while sacrificing himself. The bone-chilling grip tightened. Our hero was now completely trapped. A massive shadow loomed behind him. He had fallen into the monster's lair. Run. Avenge me. The demoness fled, desperate to find reinforcements. The monster hungered for the dragon blood essence hidden within his veins. He had consumed the divine marrow, and now he was the ultimate prize. Cultivators arrived on swords, but the tomb launched into the heavens. The demoness escaped the chaos, praying for her hero's survival. Inside the flying abyss, the skeletal lord dragged his prey toward the forge. Thrown into a cursed cauldron, crimson runes blazed with ancient malice. The monster added spirit herbs, intending to brew a divine elixir from him. Death was not an option. He had to break his limits to survive. Ignoring the monster's chanting, he focused all his soul on inner cultivation. The lid opened. Ye Yang lunged for freedom at the perfect moment. Swollen with raw energy, he was caught and slammed back into the pot. His body absorbed the herbal essence, reaching a violent breaking point. His meridians screamed. The overwhelming power threatened to shatter his soul. Suddenly, golden scales emerged. The legendary dragon armor had finally awakened. The dragon blood transformed him. A true martial monster was being born. A draconic roar shook the tomb. The cauldron trembled in pure terror. He attained the true dragon body. The skeletal king raged in envy. An explosion rocked the cave. Outside forces were finally sieging the tomb. Ye Yang seized the opening and bolted like a lightning bolt for the exit. A giant skeletal hand reached out, but a divine lotus blocked its path. With one strike, the skeleton crumbled. A true supreme power had arrived. The Saint Demon Great Emperor descended in all his terrifying glory. He recognized the boy as the rising star of the immortal sect. With a wave, the scales vanished. His handsome human form returned. The emperor glared coldly. You dared to secretly wed my daughter? Ye Yang braced his soul. It was time to face the ultimate father-in-law. I admit it. She chose me as her husband, and I accept her heart. Crushing pressure descended. The emperor's killing intent felt like a mountain. The giant lotus hovered above. One wrong word meant instant obliteration. You are a mere ant, unworthy of the blood of the demon realm. Yi Yang did not flinch. His martial will was absolutely unshakable. The emperor laughed heartily. What a brave and foolish little brat. Fine. Reach the void-seated realm, and I shall grant my blessing. The demoness was already training in seclusion, waiting for her husband. If he wanted his bride, he had to become a god among men. A demon emperor as a father-in-law? His path just became legendary. He declined the demon realm's invitation. Sect business still remained. 3 glowing command talismans were tossed his way. He caught them all. Shatter these to call me. Use them wisely. My future son-in-law. The emperor vanished into mist, leaving our hero to dominate the world. Yang returned to the Flying Immortal sect, only to find the gates choked with people. It was the once-in-a-decade great tournament, sparking an instant fire in Yang's soul. But hearing it was just for showing off made his excitement vanish instantly. As he turned to leave, he realized legendary masters were scouting for true disciples. When he moved to register, a bystander sneered, telling the lowlife to know his place. Inside the Colosseum, thousands cheered. But Yang chose a seat in the farthest shadows. He wanted a bird's-eye view, waiting for the real monsters to finally appear. A rival mocked his arrogance, but suddenly, a figure descended from the heavens. A girl clad in pink landed with grace, her aura radiating pure, unadulterated power. Her haughty gaze made Yang wonder who was this high and mighty goddess of chaos. She was the sect's notorious demoness, a legendary troublemaker feared by all disciples. When Yang admitted he didn't know her, his friend nearly choked in pure terror. She had been sealed away for years for her crimes, only recently granted mercy. Suddenly, it was Yang's turn. His opponent was already waiting with murderous intent. Yang leaped into the arena, but a hidden blade whistled toward his throat mid-air. The cowardly foe struck early, but Yang tilted his head with godlike reflexes. The crowd gasped as the blade missed. Yang's calmness was truly terrifying to behold. The enemy recalled his blade, fueling his attack with 3 layers of lethal chi. A massive wave of energy exploded toward Yang, threatening to turn him to ash. Yang didn't flinch. He stood like a mountain amidst the swirling, deadly storm. As the dust cleared, Yang vanished, reappearing like a ghost behind his stunned foe. One heavy punch sent the man flying out of the ring like a broken doll. The arena fell silent. Yang had ended the fight in a single heart beat. Standing tall, Yang roared a challenge, daring any master to face his divine fist. 4 freakish shadows stirred, including a bandaged warrior who lunged from the sky. Before the assassin's dagger could strike, Yang's fist met his jaw with thunderous force. Another body hit the floor. But then, a dozen warriors surrounded him at once. Yang grinned at the ambush. His blood was finally beginning to boil with battle, lust. He beckoned them all, moving like a blur as he dismantled their pathetic formations. No matter how fast they struck, Yang's counterattacks were swifter and more devastating. A hulking giant tried to ambush him, but a lightning-fast jab sent him reeling. Yang was just warming up when a massive boulder was hurled toward the stage. The spectators screamed, but Yang's body suddenly glowed with ancient, dragon-scale armor. With his bare hands, he caught the mountain-sized rock, stopping it dead in its tracks. With a casual shrug, he hurled the massive stone into the clouds like a toy. The display of raw strength left the entire sect trembling in absolute, utter awe. 2 elders began brawling over who would claim this legendary genius as their own. Their argument was silenced by a massive cleaver smashing through the recruitment table. It was the demoness. She claimed Yang as hers, daring any elder to challenge her. The masters fell silent, knowing better than to cross the sect's most dangerous woman. As Yang boasted, her massive blade thudded into the earth mere inches from him. She sat upon the hilt like a queen, declaring Yang the undisputed champion of the day. The rest could crawl for the lower ranks. Yang belonged solely to her now. She offered him a place by her side, promising power beyond his wildest dreams. Within this sect, her authority was absolute, second only to the great sect leader himself. Even for a man of his stature, this woman was a nightmare. The notorious female tyrant made Ye Yang hesitate. She gave him a final ultimatum. If he wanted to become her disciple, find her at Great Heaven Peak. Yi Yang was initially terrified, his face turning pale. That was until a witness revealed her true identity. She is the sister of the current sect leader. Great Heaven is the ultimate sanctuary for top-tier cultivation. Even a complete nobody could reach godlike levels there instantly. Ye Yang's eyes sparkled like he found gold. Without a second thought, he sprinted toward her. The mountain path was overflowing with legendary, rare herbs. The spiritual energy was so thick it was intoxicating. Ye Yang was practically drooling as he stepped inside. He entered a massive, majestic hall. There she sat, looking down at him with an aura of absolute authority. Seeing him show up, she smirked with satisfaction. Her new disciple had finally surrendered to his fate. In a fit of generosity, she granted him total access. He could pick any herb on the mountain. Ye Yang wondered how such a prime location fell into her hands. Was it a gift from her brother? Not exactly. The truth was far darker. She had simply extorted it from the sect's terrified elders. While Ye Yang explored, his master visited the sect leader. He was peacefully fishing, unaware of the coming storm. One look at her face and the leader knew trouble had arrived. His peaceful afternoon was officially over. She demanded Ye Yang enter the little immortal realm. The sect leader was floored by her sudden interest. Why would a legend care for a common disciple? But in her eyes, the boy was a hidden gem. He possesses the rare dragon elephant physique. With such a body, his future potential was truly limitless. But the leader worried. Even with talent, would 10 years be enough to face the coming catastrophe? He was in the twilight of his life. He needed to groom a successor who could hold back the darkness. A single physique wasn't enough to sway him. Then, she revealed the boy's deepest, most shocking secret. Ye Yang had unlocked his purple palace at the 7-star level. The sect leader gasped in pure shock. Her intuition for talent was never wrong. The leader could only offer a bitter, defeated laugh. To think a mere brat had a higher soul rank than himself. He immediately granted her every request. He even gifted a divine lamp and 2 secret techniques. They needed to preserve the sect's legacy. Even if the sect fell, this boy would ensure their lineage survived. She brought the treasures to Ye Yang. His eyes shone like high beams. These were priceless artifacts that the sect leader rarely parted with. "You owe me tenfold," she warned. Then, she whisked him away to the little immortal realm to train. Once inside, she didn't hold back. She demonstrated her power, calling down a terrifying storm of celestial lightning. With a simple gesture, she condensed pure destructive energy and launched it at the speed of light. This was a divine art she created herself. It was on a level far beyond anything Ye Yang knew. Compared to this, his 6 current techniques were mediocre. His 7-star rank needed a true master skill. Focus on one path, she advised. To become truly invincible, one must master a single, dominant technique. She then transmitted the Great Heaven Star Law directly into his mind via a spiritual data link. A single test blow left Ye Yang scorched. Despite the pain, his progress was moving at lightning speed. Defeating a master like her was still a dream, but his growth was defying all logic and common sense. He had actually forced her to use 20% of her power. He was catching up to her. Ye Yang dived into his training, breaking through his limits effortlessly. His master was left completely speechless. In just a few months, his strength reached an absurd level. To reward him, she planned a special trip. She decided to take him to Divine Weapon Valley. Usually, this place was strictly off-limits to outsiders. He wasn't a core disciple yet, so he lacked the status. But with her backing, rules didn't exist. She literally dragged him by the head into the valley. They soon encountered a grumpy old gatekeeper. The old man eyed Ye Yang's youthful face with suspicion. He doubted this brat was a true disciple. Ye Yang expected a fight, but the elder unexpectedly stepped aside. He thought he was dreaming, until a sharp slap from his master brought him back. "Stop dazing off and go pick a weapon." He stepped through the gates and froze. Thousands of legendary swords were pinned across a desolate wasteland. This place was a graveyard of divine steel. Ye Yang reached for a discarded blade. It was rusted through pure junk. He tossed it aside without a second thought. Suddenly, a sapphire glow caught his eye. A sword stood inverted, radiating ancient power. Intrigued, Ye Yang braced himself to pull. He expected a legendary struggle of strength, but it slid out effortlessly. He tumbled back as the weight vanished instantly. A divine artifact with a chipped edge? He swung it once to test its worth. A single strike cleaved the mountain in 2. Suddenly, the valley began to tremble. Thousands of swords rose into the air. They swarmed him like a metallic hurricane. Outside, Elder Ba felt the tremors. The gate threatened to burst from the pressure. The sect leader appeared like a god, slamming the doors shut with overwhelming chi. Why was the Valley of Gods reacting? Had an ancient seal been disturbed? Inside, Ye Yang dodged a massive hammer. Death was inches from his throat. He squeezed his eyes shut, bracing for the end. The weapon stopped mid-air. Silence fell. He exhaled in relief, unaware of the shadow looming behind him. A single, ancient blade hovered silently. Every other weapon shivered in pure terror. It followed him like a loyal hound. Ye Yang finally sensed its terrifying presence. He turned to face it. The sword sought a master, and he accepted. Weapon in hand, he strode toward the exit. A new legend was beginning. His master's face turned pale as a ghost. Ye Yang just smiled, swinging it joyfully. He thought he'd won the lottery. Little did he know he'd chosen a cursed relic. Each strike fuels the curse. The last owner was reduced to bloody mist instantly. Terrified, he tried to discard it, but the blade clung to him like a phantom. It was a soul bond inescapable. Elder Ba revealed the only way to survive. "Speak up!" Ye Yang shouted. He needed the missing fragment to break the spell. "I'm too young to die," he wailed. A hero's life cut short by steel? The elders looked away. The sword's history was too heavy for common men. It once belonged to the Azure Sun Sword Venerable, a man of peerless pride. He defied heaven and hell, crushing the reign of immortals and demon emperors. Hearing the legend, Ye Yang's blood boiled. This was the path to true power. He vowed to surpass the original master, but time was already running out. 10 uses. Use it 11 times, and the curse will consume his very soul. Back at the sect, he found his brothers broken. 2 disciples lay in agony. The Tai sect had come to humiliate them, preying on the weak and young. The elders couldn't intervene. The challenge was restricted to those under 18. Seeing the filth at his gates, Ye Yang's fury erupted. He stepped forward. His friend dragged him to the front, eager to see the coming carnage. The Tai bullies brought an ancient tiger beast to intimidate the entire crowd. To Ye Yang, it was just another test. He wanted to measure his growth. The tiger lunged with primeval power. But one strike was all it took. The legendary beast lay crushed. Ye Yang stood over it, completely unimpressed. He began pulling its claws for medicine. The Tai leader snapped in rage. Murderous intent flared like a supernova. He charged at Ye Yang with lethal force. But he struck only air. Ye Yang had vanished, reappearing behind his back. A dragon-shaped key erupted in a desperate counter. It was already too late. A single punch shattered the sky. Ye Yang carried the tiger home to harvest. Just when peace seemed within reach, a girl from the Tai Yin sect blocked his path. She looked frail as a reed, so Ye Yang dismissed her, fueling the rising tension. Insulted by his arrogance, she lashed out. The Phasian sect's pride was on the line. To restore their honor, the senior disciple stepped forward. A challenge was issued for the beast. Facing her stubbornness, Ye Yang set the stakes for a high-level martial rematch. The prize was their Great Eagle Manual, or Ye Yang would become the tiger's mount for 800 miles. The duel ignited. She unleashed her majestic wings, leaving Ye Yang momentarily stunned by her grace. In a flash, she vanished and reappeared behind him. Her speed was truly godlike. Her strikes were lightning fast, yet Ye Yang evaded them with the ease of a master. She vanished again, but to Ye Yang's divine eyes, this was mere child's play. He unleashed the sea-rising moon technique, paralyzing her completely in an inescapable lunar trap. With cold precision, he launched a finishing blow that stopped just inches from her face. Realizing the massive power gap, she surrendered. The Great Eagle divine ability was finally his. She warned him that this forbidden art would bring a lifetime of pursuit and slaughter. Ye Yang didn't care. He immediately began cultivating the manual to test its true authenticity. A miracle occurred. His aura transformed, turning a lowly energy into a divine phoenix form. The lead disciple, Ba Qi-lan, witnessed this genius and tried to scout him immediately. But Ye Yang was no easy target. He demanded their sect's ultimate treasures as payment. Realizing they couldn't bribe him, the disciples retreated in shame to avoid further humiliation. Back at the Great Heaven, Ye Yang summoned the eagle to test its legendary destructive power. From his forehead seal, a majestic eagle emerged, radiating an aura that shook the sky. With one command, the bird struck, cleaving a massive mountain peak in two with ease. Its power far surpassed his heavenly lightning techniques. Truly, this was a legendary acquisition. Suddenly, his master appeared with a furious face. "How dare you destroy my mountain, brat?" Ye Yang tried to flee on his eagle, but his master caught them with a single hand. He and his bird were wrapped in energy like holiday treats, dangling helplessly in midair. She had actually come with news of a missing sword fragment and urged him to follow. On the way, she asked about his clash with the Tai Yin sect's arrogant disciples. Ye Yang claimed self-defense. In the world of cultivation, strength is the only valid argument. The master sighed. The Phasian sect was once a titan, now bullied by everyone. Their founder was a legend who suppressed immortals and demons alike with absolute dominance. But since he vanished into the endless void, the sect's glory had faded into shadows. They reached a secluded cave to meet the great ancestor, the sect's final hidden pillar. but the ancestor was aging fast. Without a miracle, the sect would soon crumble completely. Their only hope to prolong his life and save their home rested on Ye Yang's shoulders. The great elder opened his sorrowful eyes, recognizing the boy as their final destiny. He spoke of the broken void mountain, an ancient realm that opens once every 100 years. It was a shattered primordial battlefield, now a separate world filled with lethal ancient traps. Though danger was everywhere, it held the secret treasures needed to change one's fate forever. The elder begged Ye Yang to find the spring of life to extend his dwindling lifespan. He bowed deeply to the boy. The future of the entire sect was now in Ye Yang's hands. Preparation began for the journey into the broken void mountain. The stakes couldn't be higher. They shared a final meal. Ye Yang joked about his handsome face being a target for monsters. His master reassured him. The realm's barriers would protect him from high-level old monsters. With a confident smirk, Ye Yang vowed to conquer the mountain and return as a legend. Welcome to the vast immortal realm where demons and geniuses clash. Tread carefully, or your dream ends here. While chatting with his master, Ye Yang spots a stray tiger wandering nearby. Trouble is calling his name. Sensing an easy target, he decides to cook a divine tiger soup. His master gives the green light. Add extra herbs, she jokes. He leaps down confidently, but the beast's powerful guardian suddenly blocks his path. Unfazed, Ye Yang prepares to stretch his limbs. Elsewhere, a shadowy group plots his downfall in Void Mountain. Enemies gather to scheme against him. Meanwhile, a mob of beastmen surrounds Ye Yang, thirsting for a fight. They hope to teach the boy a lesson with their superior numbers. But Ye Yang doesn't flinch at all. He casually flexes his overwhelming aura. The beasts prepare to strike, but suddenly hesitate and pull back. They decide to settle scores inside Void Mountain. Suddenly, Ye Yang spots a familiar figure, the beautiful Thon Lam. He tries to greet her, but she responds with a cold, piercing glare and ignores him completely. She leaves him in the dust. His master suddenly grabs his collar and flies high into the air. She announces Ye Yang as her disciple before the entire crowd. The female devil's student is finally revealed. It is like throwing meat to hungry wolves. Among the massive crowd, he doesn't have a single friend. Everyone below either holds a grudge or hates his master to the bone. Ye Yang feels truly doomed now. This is his master's way of tempering him through battle. Finally, the gates to Void Mountain slowly creak open. They have only 1 year. If they miss the exit, they will be trapped for 100 years. After a quick farewell, everyone rushes inside the portal. Ye Yang follows closely behind the frantic crowd. He enters the realm only to land flat on his backside. What an embarrassing start for our hero. Luckily, no one witnessed his clumsy fall. He looks around, realizing everyone has been scattered across the land. Suddenly, a hidden assassin lunges from the shadows. A lethal fist flies straight toward Ye Yang's face. With a blink, he teleports away. The assassin's punch hits nothing but empty air as Ye Yang vanishes. This attacker was sent by a rival master to eliminate him. A debt of blood haunts their lineages. In a heartbeat, Ye Yang reappears behind his foe. One swift strike to the vitals ends the fight instantly. The flashy assassin falls with just one blow. But soon, a whole pack of enemies comes charging in. The beast man from earlier returns with a demand. Become my pet, and I might spare your miserable life. Ye Yang realizes they all saw his pathetic landing. The humiliation is real, and his face turns red. It is time to reclaim his dignity. He sets his sights on the arrogant lion prince first. The prince lunges with a powerful palm technique. The air ripples with the force of his divine strike. Ye Yang remains calm and composed. He draws his blade and effortlessly slashes through the incoming energy blast. The lion prince explodes in rage. His hair curls from pure anger as his pride is shattered instantly. The enemy complains about the weapon. Fine. Ye Yang tosses his sword to engage in a fistfight instead. Round 2 begins. Ye Yang dashes forward, grabs the beast's arm, and hurls him into the distant clouds. Before the prince can land, Ye Yang teleports above him. A devastating kick hammers him into the dirt. He follows up with a relentless barrage of punches. The prince's face swells like a pig before surrendering. The condition for mercy? The prince must become Ye Yang's mount. Next, a bull-headed warrior steps forward. Feeling insulted, the brute charges with razor-sharp horns. He aims to gore Ye Yang through the chest. With a simple clap of his hands, Ye Yang vanishes again. He successfully teleports right past the charge. Being toyed with like a child makes the brute lose his mind. He lets out a thunderous, angry roar. Ye Yang's expression remains ice-cold, a mocking smile on his lips. He lands to fight the beast fairly. The bull-headed warrior charges with immense power. Every heavy footstep shatters the very ground behind him. But as he reaches the target, Ye Yang is gone. He is already standing regally on the beast's shoulders. A bystander has to shout for the brute to notice. He frantically tries to shake Ye Yang off. Using just one hand, Ye Yang exerts crushing pressure. He slams the brute's head deep into the earth. The stubborn beast refuses to stay down and struggles wildly. Ye Yang grips his horns, refusing to let go. In a desperate move, the brute rams himself into a massive rock. He intends to crush Ye Yang. Diep Duong grew bored, tossing his prey aside to face the remaining survivors. Removing his wrist weights, the earth shattered under their sheer, crushing mass. Facing this monster, the terrified disciples realized they stood zero chance and fled. Seeking the life spring, he ignored the vile cowards whispering in the shadows. They discussed the Taiyan genius until a terrifying presence surged forward suddenly. Trees splintered everywhere, sending the spies running for their lives in pure terror. Diep Duong watched as a dark, withered hand lunged from the swirling dust. From the trees, he unleashed a strike, forcing the hidden monstrosity back. Human voices echoed. These weren't demons, just pathetic cowards hiding in shadows. Their leader fled like a rat, leaving pawns behind as Diep Duong pursued. Savage roots erupted from below, but his godlike reflexes saved him instantly. It was a calculated trap, a desperate gambit to corner our martial legend. Success. Crimson petals closed, sealing our hero within a cursed, blood-red cocoon. Foolish. No seal or chain can bind him. With one surge, everything disintegrated. The Taiyan sect stood revealed. Their shameless schemes only fueled his fury. Mercy was dead. Time to show these scum true martial dominance. Stay tuned. Like and share if you want more of Diep Duong's legendary rise.